Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and today I'm going to be doing my October wrap-up. The first books that I read this month are Lux Origin and Opposition. So this is Consequences. Yeah. So it's a bind-up of Opal and Origin, and this month I read Origin, which is the fourth book in the Lux series, and Opposition, which is the fifth book in the Lux series. And I can't really give you a summary of these two because they're the fourth and the fifth books in the series, so I can't really tell you what they're about without spoiling you. But they are about, they have aliens in them. They're kind of about aliens coming to Earth and all of that stuff. And yeah, I obviously really love these. They were also in my top 5 books introduction video, so if you want to know more about the series, go to that video because I talk a little bit more about them. But I gave each one of them 5 stars. The fifth one was probably I don't know. The first and the fifth are kind of in a tie of my least favorite out of the series, even though they're both extremely good. I gave 5 stars to both of them, but I think the fifth one just had so much action in it, and I didn't read a in-between book, marathoned all 5 books, so it was kind of like a lot of, intensity with no, fluffy in-between read, so that's probably my problem. But anyways, both of them were 5 stars each. Probably like 6 out of 5 stars if you want to be, real here. I loved them. I strongly recommend them. And yeah. So the next book I read was The Selection by Kiera Cass. Okay, so The Selection is kind of like The Bachelor, only with the royalty. So we have a prince, and there are, I believe it's over 30 girls get picked from different districts, and they all have to compete to be his wife. And I don't know, it didn't do it for me. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was not bad. I actually enjoyed myself during most of it, but the end of it just felt unfinished. There were some things that reminded me a little bit too much of the Hunger Games. I don't know. It was decent, but it was not amazing, and yeah. The next book I read was The Elite, which is book 2 in the Selection trilogy, and this book made it even worse. So 2.5 out of 5 stars, which is, The Elite just made the problems I had with the Selection even worse, because both of the books should have been one book, and I'm not going to read the one, which is the third book in the trilogy, because I heard it's the exact same thing as the Selection and the Elite. Like, all 3 of them should have been one book, and she stretched it out into 3 books when it should not have been done. And there's a love triangle in this book that just annoys the crap out of me. I don't know, I hate the love triangle in these books. These books are just very overhyped. I don't know. Maybe you'll like them. I know a lot of people like them. Like, all of the ratings on Goodreads were either 5 stars or 1 star. Like, there was hardly any in between like I am. The 5th book I read was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. So this book is a contemporary romance about 2 kids in high school that, are misfits. They don't really fit in, especially her. What I liked about her character was that she was not perfect by any means. She was not like outstandingly beautiful or fit. Like, she was kind of overweight. She came from an absolutely terrible home life. Just what her and her siblings kind of have to go through, especially her, because she's the oldest, just kind of breaks your heart. But it's about these 2, and I would read you the synopsis, but to me the synopsis doesn't really explain the book very well. I don't know. It's a really good book. I loved this book all the way up until the end. I hated the ending. Don't let that turn you off though, because a lot of people loved the ending. It was that open-ended ending, and I hate those kinds. I hate them. But a lot of people like them, so, you know, you may love the ending just as much as you love the book. I have not heard one person say, like, that they didn't like this book. Not one. All over BookTube, all over Goodreads, everywhere you see is everyone loving Eleanor and Park. And, you know, I completely agree. It was very good, but I didn't give it 5 stars because of the ending. Alright, so the 6th book that I read was My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. So what this book is about is you have the Reeds and you have the Garretts. So the Reeds, and Samantha of course is our protagonist. It's her and her mom and her sister's kind of wild and crazy and not around a whole lot, and her mother is a political woman. She's very uptight. She pretty much only has bad things to say about almost everyone. She basically grants Samantha absolutely no freedom. And the Garretts are their next door neighbors, and they have, I think, 8 kids in the family, and then the mom's pregnant with the 9th. I believe that's how many kids. And Jace, it's kind of a romance between Jace and Samantha, and her mom forbids her to see Jace, or any of the Garretts really, and yeah, obviously she doesn't listen. You can tell by the, you know, cover. It's a pretty good book. Like, I was happy with it. I don't regret reading it. It was just kind of pretty good, but not like extremely good. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. The 7th book I read is Just One Day by Gayle Forman, and let me just show you, and then I have to put it down because I'm like super dark when they do that. And Gayle Forman is the same author who wrote If I Stay and Where She Went, and I don't know, my best friend told me to read this book actually a while ago. I just now getting to it. It was not near as good as I thought it would be. Everyone seems to just love it, and I don't know, it did not do it for me. Like, it just was not that great. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So Allison is the main girl's name in this book, and she's very, like, her mother has basically mapped out her entire life, and she has always just followed it and, you know, said no problem, and she never does anything spontaneous or anything like that. Goes to Europe for the summer, and she's on like a tour, and you know, so she's with like a tour guide and all this, and it's kind of like they go to different countries and capitals. So she meets this guy named Willem in one of the cities, and they are going to go back to America in a couple days. I think when her tour was about to go to Paris, something happened and they weren't able to go, and she wanted to see Paris, and he offered to take her. So the first half of this book is about her and this guy going through Paris in, you know, just one day. So it all happened within like 24 hours. And then the second half is what happened after that. Just kept thinking of how stupid Allison was by going with this guy who she had just met that day to a different country to tour around Paris. She had no cell phone that worked, nothing. Like, how, there was major insta-love in this book. Like, it's called Just One Day, so you can kind of figure what's gonna happen. And I didn't love it that much. I don't know. It probably was mainly the, you know, me just wanting to scream at Allison for being so careless when you could have been, I mean, have you ever seen Taken? Like, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory what happened to her. The 8th book I read this month is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. So this book was very, very good. I think everyone's calling it a dystopian. Correct me if I'm wrong. To me, this is not a dystopian, like, at all, because it sounds like the exact world we're in, only maybe like 30 years in the future. Like, that's not a dystopian to me, but you know, whatever. So in this world, this disease swept through America and killed almost all the kids. And you either die or develop powers. But what the government has done is all the kids with powers, they have basically taken the kids and put them in like kind of concentration camps. And the main girl in this book, whose name is Ruby, gets out of one of them, and just a lot of things ensue. One of my problems with this book was that the stuff that's on the synopsis, like a lot of it didn't even happen until the end, and so I feel like there are a lot of spoilers in the synopsis, so I'm not going to tell you any more than that really. There is, you know, a lot of action, a lot of romance, and I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. Yes, I had my problems with it. Ruby, sometimes I just wanted to slap her in the face because she just got a little bit too much sometimes. I love Liam. I love a lot of the characters. This book made me laugh. It made me cry. It was very, very good. Those are all the books that I read this month. So I will be uploading wrap-ups regularly. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Good, but it was not like blow me off of my seat good. Is that even a saying? I don't even think that's a saying, but whatever.